I see all the package there. Okay, that gives us a chance. We have a good chance. And I think that's what I saw in Gio. Like he was saying, being relaxed, going into the ring with a guy like Manny Pacquiao. If you could keep relaxed and keep poised, that's tremendous confidence in yourself.
I don't know how you did that.
You gotta, and then and he's not a bad-looking kid. That helps too. You know what I mean?
Back from this quick break. I'm still talking to these heavyweights right here at Wildcard Boxing. Oh my God, look at them. They're about to go head to head. Not right now. Let's talk it out. We got 5 minutes to have this conversation. So Steven Fader is joining us right now. Steven has an knack for spotting true, gritty, raw talent right here in the heart of Hollywood. Steven, what does that look like? Is it a gut feeling? Is it an intellectual instinct? What do you think it is?
It's a little bit of everything. I mean, I've been up here for 15 years, and at first you don't have it. You just think you see somebody fighting tough, and you think that's the guy you want to sign. But over time, you realize that it's a package. It's about marketability and ability, and that perfect kind of combination of both. And then realizing, you have to have advance the film. Where is this guy going to be 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years from now? And to build a fighter from scratch is a lot of time and a lot of effort. So you have to see that there's potential there. And when you have a fighter like Giovanni, where you start at 18-0 with someone like him, then you want to believe, okay, how much more potential does he have? Can he go all the way? Can he be world champion? So it takes a lot of time. I've been hours and hours and hours and months and years of watching sparring, watching guys do it, and then you start to get a knack for it. But you have to put in your time, and having Freddie as the mentor was the key.
Freddie Roach, who is a heavyweight right here, he has trained 50 world champions at least, and he also trains newcomers, and he still keeps on giving and creating this beautiful legacy.
And he's the guy that taught me how to have the eye, and he, to this day, does the same thing. He analyzes. He'll have a guy come in and analyze them and see if it's not just what you see that day, it's what you think you can see tomorrow and the next day.
So do you remember that specific day where you actually decided to represent Gio? Was it after 5 minutes of watching him spar? Was it after just meeting him? Was it like true first love at first sight?
Well, I don't know about the love, but no, I watched.
That was gradual.
That takes time, But I watched him with Manny. I watched him with Manny, and the fact that he had the poise to handle that, which is, you're talking about an unbelievable champion, and that takes a lot. That takes a lot for you to be able to handle that in the ring, and also the way he handled himself with people, because I'm looking for the marketability of somebody, and the way he speaks, the way he handles himself, the way he conducts himself, it's everything, because he has to be in my life, and I have to be in his life for years to come.
It's the total package. I want to hear both your answers on this. What do you think is the ratio in terms of mental stamina and physical stamina to be able to succeed in the boxing industry, Gio?
Well, I'm no mathematician, but I know that the mental aspect of boxing is everything. The mentality, the relaxation that someone has in the ring, understanding technique and making your movements economical. Also mastering fear, because fear gives you stress and you expend a lot of energy, right? So all those things combined is purely mental. Boxing is like chess, and that's what makes it such a beautiful sport. One of my family members used to say that the smartest people in the world he's ever met are fighters, and I believe it's true. To be an athlete is a bit underrated, because you are supposed to understand all these psychological components and master the fundamentals of body mechanics. and then to do it creatively and to do that with spirit and then reflect who you are, where you're from, your family, your nationality. That's what boxing is.
So in terms of percentages, how could you chalk it down?
100% mental. Because the mental translate into the physical.
Oh, that's a good answer. What about you, Steven?
Yeah, I have to agree with him because I feel like one of the things that can help you sustain yourself in the sport is the mental side of it. And there's such a science to this. That's why a lot of times when you see two guys that just, banging at each other, people say, "Oh man, now, these guys can really fight. These guys are," but that's not what we're looking for. It's how to figure out your opponent. It's having the mental fortitude to get through a tough fight. And they're physically all in shape, these guys, right? That when you're at this level, when you're at elite level, you're expected to be in shape. So really, what is it that gets you through those 10 or 12 rounds? It's mental, and that's where the science of the sport comes in.
So if you could narrow down the common denominator, that one quality that your clients should have or the people that you take under your wing should have, what does it come down to? Extreme focus,
a goal, and then the willingness to do anything and everything that they need to do to achieve that goal. That's the key. The key is like absolute 100% focus.
I love that, extreme focus, and that transcends into every facet of your life. Focus for anything. Right. What about you, Gio? What do you think is that number one quality that you think has been able to sustain you all the way to where you're at right now?
I think it's being brave enough it's daring to be great. Just to be in the ring with Manny Pacquiao. I mean, the level of courage that took. I mean, growing up, he was one of the guys that I watched dismantle 8 different weight divisions. That's historic. No champion has ever done what he does. And I respect anyone that enters the ring. We call it the Chamber of Truth because it's where you show who you really are. And yeah, I think bravery, having the vision, just dare to be great. That's what this game is all about.
It's a lot of work for both of us. It's really a village. To get somebody to a world title, it takes a village. So managers can be a great manager, have a lot of relationships, but I got to have the fighter. If I don't have the fighter, I can't get there. So it really takes, the fighter says, okay, I need good management, I need a good promoter. He's right, he needs that, but you got to start out with something. And the thing is, I've never had a fighter who I've either talked about managing or another guy's fighter who I've talked to. Every fighter that's ever walked in the gym says, I want to be a world champion. Okay, every single fighter. I've never talked to a fighter that didn't say that to me. But do you have what it takes to be a world champion? And that's the package. That's really the key. And can you spot that early on and save yourself a lot of anguish? That's what years of doing this can get you. And I'm still not always right, but I feel like if I see all the package there, okay, that gives us a chance. We have a good chance. And I think that's what I saw in Gio. Like he was saying, being relaxed, going into the ring with a guy like Manny Pacquiao. If you could keep relaxed and keep poised, that's tremendous confidence in yourself.
I don't know how you did that.
You gotta, and then and he's not a bad-looking kid. That helps too. You know what I mean?
Let's just hope he doesn't end up like Mickey Rourke, completely disfigured. I have true hope in you, Gio, that you're gonna remain unscathed all throughout your career, hopefully. Okay, well, finally, where can we find you, Steven, on social media, since we already have Gio's?
The Steven Fader, that's it. Just go to Instagram at the Steven Fader. But follow me on Instagram.
Awesome.
We'll keep good track of Gio.
Follow the good-looking kid too. Okay, good.
Make a splash. I really have a tremendous confidence in him. I really do. I think we're going to do a lot of this coming year is going to be a big year for him.
Well, I say that we put that into practice because it's been all chatting and chatting. I want to see what he's all about. Let's see if I can get rid of that 0.
With the biggest promoter in the world now, he's with Top Rank, so they saw something in him, and now we're going to get the audience to see it on TV, and we're going to have a great year. Yeah.
Awesome. But not before we go to a quick break, so stay tuned. In the meantime, I'm going to get ready. Please get me some headgear. I don't want to.